Hi, my name is LilaLychi. Today I want to talk about Splatoon 3 competitive. In specific, we are going to be talking about making your own FA post. You might be asking yourself, what is an FA? An FA is a free agent. It is essentially a Splatoon 3 player in this sense that is looking to join a team. I myself am low level, and I have noticed personally that there's a lot of new members in low level that are joining teams or looking for teams, and I wanted to communicate how I make my FA posts and essentially the most important parts of a free agent post and why you might want to pay more attention to these certain parts. So, the main elements of a free agent post relies on the basic 5 W's. I think that basing a lot of your answers off of these questions can really help you decide what you want to convey, help you with your design elements, and of course, in the best part of things, help captains understand exactly who you are and what you're looking for. So, we begin with who are you? Seems like a very simple question, possibly with very simple answers, although it's extremely important. I personally, as a former captain, found myself looking, a lot into who are the people that I'm going to be talking to. What's your name? What's your age? What are your pronouns? What's your gender? Are you a person of color? Are you a queer person or someone from the LGBTQ community? What are your values? And like if you're an adult or if you're a minor, if you work full time, if you're a student, if you're in school, certain hours of the day, all of these things are extremely important. It seems kind of silly. I know that there's some people in here that are probably thinking, Lila, why would I mention any of this? It's because we're looking for people who are like minded towards us. Formerly as a captain, I found it extremely important to know whether or not someone was going to be available during the same time frame as me. If someone had a curfew, personally, my former team, also known as United Crushers, they've now rebranded, they no longer exist. But as the captain, I was looking for folks who were 20 plus. And you might be thinking, wow, that's, a very specific age range, but it's really important for captains to know exactly who you are, what your age is, if you're going to mesh well in maturity wise, or just in general, if there's any scheduling conflicts that you might have. The next question is, what is your weapon pool? It's pretty simple, right? You think that it's simple. You think, hey, I play Charger, I play E-Liter, I play Pencil, I play like Squiffer or something. And you might think, hey, since I like to play all of these weapons, or sometimes, I'll throw in a random Hydra in there, I'm going to include all of these weapons. Now, I will say that if you switch around that much, I would recommend reevaluating exactly what you want to do, your role, who you want to play with, what you find to be the weapons that fit your playstyle and fit consistently within your gameplay the most. But I would also urge everyone to kind of look at the 3 main weapons that they would like to play. Personally, I play Blaster. I will show the other weapons that I have played in the past, but I find it extremely confusing as a former captain if someone lists, oh, I play Aerospray, I play Dynamo, and I play, E-Liter. Like, you can play all of those weapons. I think that there's somebody out there that probably does play all of those weapons. But as a captain, I'm looking for someone that has a consistent weapon pool that will stick with the weapons that they want to play and actually, is consistent with these weapons. So having a weapon pool at max, I would say have 3 weapons. You're going to want to have one weapon that you feel the most comfortable with, one weapon that maybe you've three-starred, 4-starred, or 5-starred, depending on, what point in time, you are in your entire journey as a competitive player. But I think it's extremely important to have those 3 main weapons down. Personally, for me, my 3 main weapons in the past were Range Blaster, Slosher, and Sloshing Machine. I don't play 2 of those weapons anymore. I currently play Blaster. I am a Blaster one-trick. Sometimes, in like an odd scrim, I'll bring out Slosher, but my main goal is to play Blaster. It's extremely important for captains to know this information. Where are you from seems kind of silly. You could be like, oh, I'm from North America. Oh, I'm from OCE. I'm from Japan. I'm from, somewhere Europe, Asia, anywhere you're from. It's important. It seems very silly, but it is extremely important. Why is it important? Well, captains are trying to see, hey, is this person going to have a good internet connection that we can relate to? Or, hey, is this person available at the times that we want to be available at? It's not to say that we don't have people from OCE, EU, and NA oftentimes playing together, especially in tournaments that are NA oriented, but to say, hey, if I want to play SOS on Wednesdays, that's at 7 p.m., and I ask someone from the EU, hey, are you available to play? They might say, that's 2 a.m. I can't play that. It's really important to make sure that the folks that you're going to be playing with, that if if you're available at 2 p.m. in the afternoon in North America and a lot of other people aren't available, maybe playing with people from OCE or playing from EU would make sense for you. For folks who don't understand, OCE is Australia, EU is the European Union and or Europe. Africa also shares a lot of the same time zones with EU, so I've just been generalizing OCE and EU. Regardless, it is extremely important for captains to know exactly where you're from, and exactly where your time frame comes from, like what time of day it is. That also wraps up into the next point that I have here is, when do you want to play? Just because you're from North America does not mean that you're available at the traditional North America times. Myself personally, I work a 9 to 5. For those of you who don't know what that means, I work full time. So I work Monday through Friday. I'm unavailable until 7 p.m. Central Time, also known as 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If Central and Eastern don't make sense to you, I recommend, if you're in North America, look up a map of time zones. Time zones are extremely important for you to know. Luckily for a lot of the Discord elements and a lot of the Sendou.Ink elements, you will already have a lot of the time frames within your time zone, but sometimes there's some people who are from PST, which is Pacific time, and I'm from Central Time, so in my brain, I need to remember, hey, my teammates are 2 hours behind me, and I need to translate that within my brain. It seems really, really silly, but you're not always going to find teammates that you mesh with within your own time zone, and you as a player need to be flexible to meet the needs of your team and your captain. And if you're a captain, you won't be making an FA post, I'm assuming. Just gonna throw that out there. But if you're a captain and you're watching this, if you have someone that needs to, learn a little bit more about making their FA post, feel free to send this to them. Anyways, to continue, why are you playing? Again, basic question, but it has so much nuance to it. I myself am playing because I want to be low-level banned by 2026. What does that mean? Different things for different people. I personally would like to be out of Division 6 and under, which divisions are really confusing. A lot of times divisions aren't, they're fluid, okay? It's really confusing. We're still working on that system. But regardless, why are you playing? I'm playing because I want to grow. I want to get into mid and high level. I want to feel confident in my weapon, and I want to find teammates that are like-minded and push, into mid-level with them. It could be long term, it could be short term, but you need to communicate why you are playing. Are you looking to sub for another team to get some more experience while you're already on other teams? Cool, you need to communicate that. Captains need to know that information. Are you looking to stick with a team long term? Are you looking to stick it out, months through years? You need to communicate this information, and if you don't convey it properly, it can oftentimes cause a lot of disagreements between teammates and even possibly teams breaking up. It's really hard for captains to be able to work with people without understanding whether or not, the effort that everyone's putting in together is actually going to last or not. It seems really superficial, it seems really silly the way that I'm putting these things, but it is very important for you as the player to convey your expectations to all of your teammates and especially your captain, because your captain is putting in a ton of work towards the team and they need a little bit of help. So if you're looking to join a team, you got to be straightforward with the captain. It is very, very, very important. Speaking of things that are important, I personally think that having any prior results at all on your FA post is a giant part of, finding a team that works for you. So I personally have played in a few LANs. My first LAN was Riptide 2023, and I've been playing in Twin Squiddies ever since. So I've participated in, this will be my fifth LAN this upcoming month, which this is being recorded in January. So I would mention that to my captain. If I'm trying out for a team, I would say, hey, I've been to Riptide once, not planning on going again because of financial purposes and reasons, but I do attend Twin Squiddies, so I am consistently in a LAN environment. I've played these tournaments before. I'm banned from a lot of low level tournaments, beginner tournaments, like Reach, Setting Sail, and Juniors Draft, which I will go into detail about this likely in another video if anyone is interested. But the whole purpose of this is to communicate, hey, I have C- rank. Hey, I've never gotten my rank before. A lot of teams are out there for everyone. You don't have to have any results, but sharing, hey, I don't have any results, still is sharing any prior results, and it's extremely important that you make this clear. Okay, now that we have the main elements out of the way, I am going to be looking through one of my old FA posts. It's not as old as you'd think. It's about 2 months old, but still, I would like to go through my old FA post with you all, explain all of the elements and why I made it this way in specific. And then after this, I will be making another one, and I'll be walking you all through that process as well. So I'm going to zoom in. The program that I am using is called Canva. It is free. You can use it on your computer, on your phone, on your tablet. It comes as an app. There are some paid features, but I personally avoid those paid features, and I also avoid the AI. You can, if you want to have a picture of yourself like I have here, please, I'm begging you, just take a screenshot in game or take a picture with your camera or use, I don't know, any image that you'd like. Just don't use AI. Please don't. I'm begging you. As an artist, it looks bad, and as a captain, I would avoid any AI generated pictures. So, just as a thing out there, there's been people who use AI before for tournaments and such. They have gotten a lot of negative feedback, which I personally would not recommend doing just because it makes you look pretty scummy. Anyways, let's start. So, here on the left side, I personally have drawn this, which is why I don't keep any credit anywhere. But if you use an image from an artist that you've commissioned, just add like a little blurb somewhere, give them credit somewhere on the page. It's basic decency. Regardless, I started up here in the top right corner, dividing all of the main information with these little bubbles. So we've got my name, like we said, who, what do I like to play, my results, why I want to play. I did not include where, and I did not include when. Now, there's a reason why I did this, and it is just because I had a text post alongside of this. Now, if I were to redo this, I would make a lot of this smaller, specifically the weapons. I would shrink this down a bit, and I would also shrink down my information. I don't need this very large because when I'm posting this, it's going to be in Discord servers, and people can just click on my profile. I already have my username that's the exact same thing as this. If they want to click on my Sendou, I've got my Sendou page linked in my Discord. At some point, after I'm done with this specific video, I will probably make another video if y'all are interested, explaining where I like to put my FA posts, how I get them out there, and the best places in general to find team posts because I've been back and forth for a while now. All right, back into this. I started here with my username, my full username, LilaLychi. I go by Lila for short. My pronouns are they, them. It's important to list your pronouns. I personally think so. My pronouns are listed here and also on my Discord profile, so that way captains know not to misgender me. As a tip for captains, don't misgender people. That's probably going to be the thing that kicks off a very bad interaction. I've had some captains misgender me. I've had some teams misgender me. It's very harmful. So please, if you don't know, just ask. It takes 2 seconds. That's all I'm going to put there. I am over 21 years old. I want this to be there because I want, captains that are younger than 18 years old to know not to reach out to me. I personally am not interested in playing with folks that are younger than me, like in high school or middle school. Not because they're not good players, but simply because I am older. I don't have any way to relate to them, and they're not going to understand me. All I talk about is taxes, tires, and just work. So they're going to find me boring. I'm going to find them not interesting to me, and I'm just going to be like, I feel like I'm talking to my younger cousins. I don't really see this working out. It's not because there's a lack of respect, it's just because we cannot relate to each other, and I don't, as an adult, I would not understand why an adult would want to be, working together with a minor long term. There are people that make it work. I just can't be bothered. Again, nothing against younger folks. Why did I put this here? What does AoE mean? Area of effect. Technically, I will say that Slosher isn't really, in the classical sense, an area of effect weapon, but we just call it that in Splatoon. It affects a certain area. It's not a shooter, right? Blasters and sloshers and sloshing machines can all hit over ledges. Sloshing machines and blasters both do piercing damage, right? So they do, when you get a direct, it does extra damage and it makes a really crisp snapping sound. AoE is important. AoE is a class that, I will say is extremely important on tower control. It can be very helpful on, Rainmaker for popping shield. I personally don't feel that AoE does great in splat zones, which is why I have that slasher option as, the faster paced painting option, because I hate playing blaster on splat zones sometimes. Depends on the map mode. I will play it sometimes if we have enough paint, and I will be the AoE and not focus on painting zone. But when it comes down to me being by myself in zone, it is very, very difficult to paint. So that's why we have this extra option here. I have been pushing more blaster in splat zones anyways, because it does have sea blast. I have the opportunity to do splashdown if I'm by myself and I need a paint. But again, it's entirely dependent on what my team plays, which is why I had listed all of these things here. Currently, I do not play sloshing machine, and I don't even advertise that I play slosher because I'm not confident in my slosher as much as I'm confident in my blaster. So again, the 3 weapons rule: main, alt, alt. You're going to want to have your main focused on. Find a weapon that you like, hone in on it, grow your skills, and focus specifically on that weapon. If you're not feeling good in the middle of a match, or in the middle of a set, you can switch to another one of these weapons. But again, the goal is that you find a weapon you like, you stick with it, through thick and thin, through loss, through tilt, everything. Splatoon really is a mind game, and having a certain set of tools that you're able to use is extremely important to winning. Without knowing your weapons, it's going to be really hard to win. So don't switch after a loss. Again. Alright, results. So this probably looks like a lot of gibberish for newer players. I know that there's probably going to be some people out there, like some people that are even above me, that are going to be like, I know exactly what all of these things are, but I'm going to walk through it, and this entire thing, explaining to folks that might not understand. So, to begin with, this portion here, twin squiddies. Again, there's the big LAN word. What does this mean? So, a LAN is an event in person that attendees will go to, and you'll play the game together, right? So, why is this important for captains to know? LANs are a very, very, very different experience than playing at home. You are sitting in a chair that is not yours, at a desk that is not yours, possibly using a dock that's not yours, using a monitor that's not yours. You're in a completely different environment with a bunch of people around you, and it's gonna get loud. I'm a person with sensory issues. I struggle with LANs sometimes just because of how bright the lights are and how loud everything is around me. And there's just a bunch of new sensory experiences. So, being able to keep your cool in a space where your opponents are right next to you, going to LANs, being respectful, not doing trash talk, not throwing things, not starting physical altercations, if you do those things, I would recommend speaking to a professional and going to therapy and taking time to connect with yourself. It's extremely important that as a player, you are able to be respectful going to a LAN, being able to communicate with people that you just lost to, fist bumping them, telling them, we did great, and just seeing it as these are my peers and not these are opponents or enemies that I'm fighting. It's just people that you're working with, right? Being able to work together with people, being able to, exist in a space with someone that you just lost with is very important. I think personally, every Splatoon player should try to attend a LAN at some point if it's feasible, if it's nearby, and if they have the funds to. So that's what that means. I won Twin Squiddies 2. I also won Twin Squiddies 3, which is available on my Sendou page, but we will go through Sendou pages later. For now, I'm just going to explain what's here, why it's here, etc. Okay, so Silver Bracket. This means all for one. Very silly, it's just a shortened abbreviation. Why is Silver Bracket important? I think that even though I didn't get a great placement, I still made it through groups and I still got up to Silver Bracket. I think that's great. That's why I put it there. There's a lot more results now that I have since this that I would put there instead, but that's cool. Just put it there as a little note. Okay, again, Diamond Bracket. Diamond Bracket is the highest bracket. We did not make pedestal. What is pedestal? First, second, and third. Think about like a pedestal like the Olympics, right? So we did not make pedestal, but we still got fifth. I think there were around 45 teams, so that's top cut. I will say that I wish that we had gotten a little bit further. At the time I was playing, I was subbing in for a team, so I did not know any of these members that I was playing with at all. So I think given that, I still did really good. That's why it's still there. Oops, hold on, excuse me. Okay. This specific result here, second in Silver Bracket, Chromatic Co-op. So Silver Bracket was the lowest bracket, so it's not anything to really write home about, but we did make Ped, so we got second. And we fought really hard, and I think we forced game 4 or game 5. And so we still, fought as hard as we could. Kudos to the winners. They did a really great job. But Chromatic Co-op here is a duos tournament. So typically Splatoon is a tournament that has 4 players. Chromatic Co-op only has 2. So it's you and one other person, and you're fighting another duo, and you're still having to play the regular mode. The reason why I included that here is because Chromatic Co-op is very fun. Go play it. It happens on Saturdays around 7 p.m. Central Time for the North American one, and for the EU version, which they do switch back and forth each week so that way everyone has a chance to play, happens around noon Central Time. So again, it's another great tournament that you can play. It's fun. You can play whatever you want. This specific result, I played Aerospray pretty much the whole time. I will say that I did play Aerospray. So that was me messing around and being silly, and we still got a pretty good result. So that's why I put that there. Alright, after this we have first in bronze bracket of FTAU, also known as From the Ink Up. It's another great beginner tournament here. The reason why I put this here is because even though it is bronze bracket, which is the lowest bracket, it's still a result for 1. For 2, we won the bracket. So what does that mean? We got knocked out during groups. We didn't get a great placement, but we still fought, most of the people in our bracket, and we came out on top. So that's something to be celebrated. Depending on the tournament that you play, sometimes getting first in bronze bracket will get you a badge. And badges are essentially just spinny little NFTs that sit on your profile and they look pretty. So it's aesthetically pleasing. Does it do too much for you? No. Is it fun to have? Yeah. So it's not a big deal, but I think that it was a very good performance for myself, and it was again a pickup. So this was a bunch of people that typically don't play together, and we still won. So I thought that was cool. All right, here is the last result that I have here on this page. It is Riptide 2023. I believe this was out of 70. No, it was like 55 to 60 teams. Can't exactly remember how many teams there were. I don't think there was that many, but again, I wasn't at the venue the whole time. So this is still a result. It shows that I attended a major LAN because this is considered a major LAN, which is much larger than Twin Squiddies. Twin Squiddies typically has 3 to 4 teams, and Riptide has around 50 to 70 teams depending on the population. So that is my results. That is a breakdown of exactly what I was thinking here. And now I'm going to show the About Me portion. So I will read it out. Hi, my name is Lila. I am a Blaster main that also plays the Slasher class. So again, I'm a Blaster main that happens to play the Slasher class. Slashing Machine is in the Slasher class. It's more like a Blaster than Slasher is, but it still acts, it flings ink like a Slasher does. Slasher is just a bucket and you throw ink everywhere. In my spare time, I'm an artist and I'm a staff member for Twin Squiddies. So this LAN that I go to every month, I am also a TO for, which is a tournament organizer. So I work on stream. I also commentate. That's something that sometimes teams like to know just so they get to know you better. I am looking for an 18 plus year old, so 18 or older, Div 7 team. That's a Ludi division. I will explain that another time. That is LGBTQ, so gay people, people of color, so Black, Indigenous, people of color. I myself am Asian, and feminist friendly team. So why did I list this here? Y'all might be looking at this and be like, none of these words are in the Bible. Too bad. I am a trans person. I'm non-binary. I go by they, them. I am a person of color, so I am Asian, and I am a feminist. I don't want to work with people that are not like-minded. I don't want to work with people who are racist, who are transphobic, homophobic, or who, don't respect feminine people. I just want basic decency. And if any of these words set off red flags for you, again, that's means I'm just not a good fit for your team. And then it's just DM me at my username. That is for Discord specifically. So again, very long story short, what do I want to play, results, why I want to play. Now that we've made our next page here, I am going to start by selecting, let me see if I can find it. I'm going to add my own image here. There. Okay, we have our own image here. All right, lovely. Okay, so this is a commission that I got from Lissy Volpez on bluesky.com. So I'm going to grab her blue sky in a second. But for now, we're going to start with cropping. I'm going to get my character in here. All right, so I've got the art here that I wanted. Let me go grab the blue sky because I like to credit the artist, and you should too. So I've got the blue sky available so I can add that later. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And the nice thing about Canva is that I can round the corners. I like to round the corners. We'll put it at like 50. Okay. So this is what it looks like up here. I also rounded the corners here. This was my art that I made, so that's why it looks like that. Now I can zoom this in. I'm going to keep this as a square. So we're going to put this right here. We're going to leave it. And now I'm going to decide what I want my background color to be. So last time I had kind of like this, you know, periwinkle color. I'm probably going to go with a little bit more of a desaturated color here. And the nice thing about Canva is that I can choose any color that I want, right? So I can even choose this color if I want. It looks like a robin egg blue. If you don't know what you want to choose, there's all of these default colors that you can go through. I think that choosing a color that's, based within this image is very helpful. I believe you can even do the eyedropper tool. Oh, and it does it for you. Okay, cool. So I can choose exactly, like the colors of my character right here, like their skin, their, bandana, whatever, and then I can choose like other colors if I wanted to based off of the other photos that are there. But I think this time I'm going to choose something based off of this pink, and then I'm going to make it a little bit desaturated right here. Awesome. That looks good. Okay. So now we've got our image here, which I think is very important to have an image, something that represents you, so that way captains know exactly who they're talking to and dealing with. I like to add a border here just because it helps keep everything look pretty cohesive. We'll put that at like a 20. I'm going to change the color here. You can change it to match the color of the background, and then I'm going to make it a little bit darker here. That way everything looks cohesive. There's a border, but it's not too crazy. Now we're going to start with text. So we're going to add a heading. I'm going to make my username. Before we put the text anywhere, I'm going to bring in a square here. I'm going to make it the same size, and I'm going to stretch it out. In fact, we can even overlay here, and then I will just make it the exact same size. I'll place it over this way, and then I'll stretch it out to the side here. Okay. Now that I've got this, which makes it look more cohesive, this is going to be where I keep my text, because I want my text readable and I want everything separated. This is just how I like things, because I like things to be readable. But the way that you do things is entirely up to you. It's based off of what you like and what you think looks good. Although I will say I would recommend to stay away from extremely neon colors and just something like this, for example. So colors that are on the opposite sides of the color wheel are going to make it very hard for people to read. This hurts my eyes. So what I would do instead is maybe choose like a purple, like that, or maybe even just be simple and keep it as the black. That's very readable. That's an accessible color. Again, just making things readable. Even this, although it's got some contrast, is still readable. I will leave it like this because I like this. So now I'm going to choose some text. I'm going to go through the text styles here, fonts here. You can decide if you want like handwriting, display, and there's like a whole bunch of different text that you can choose that are all free. Some of them have a little like crown, which means that it's not free. But there are so many free ones that you can go through that personally I don't mind, and I continue to use this. I also use this exact same app, Canva, for all of the Twin Squiddies LAN announcements. So I go through here and I find all of the stuff that I like, and I just edit it. I'm going to stick with the same font from last time. This font is called Lulu Font TH, if you like it. But again, we're just going to go with a very similar style here, just because I liked what I had previously, but now I'm just going to improve off of it. So again, very important that you include your pronouns so that way people don't misgender you. They know exactly what you prefer to go by. And what else did I put here? I put 21 plus. I'm just going to put 21 plus years old, shift it over a little bit, probably shift this up to give it some space. That way it's readable. Awesome. So I've got my pronouns. Haha, blue hair and pronouns. Alright, I've got my pronouns, I've got my age. I am also going to go down here and put CST time zone, which also there is a GMT. Hold on, let me see. If you're going to be working with people in the EU and you're from North America or OCE, you're going to want to know something called Greenwich time. So, okay, so it looks like CST is 6 hours behind Greenwich time. So that would be -6 GMT. Okay. The reason why I included this is just because, I'm going to make this accessible for everybody. Greenwich time is the Greenwich clock in Europe, which is essentially just a giant, nuclear clock of sorts that keeps time. It's kept in Europe, so GMT is the base time. It's like the default time, which is why I keep it there. Okay, got all of these things. Again, just like last time, we have our username, pronouns, age range, and what weapon we play. I'm not going to include this just because I play Blaster, which will be very easy to see here in a second. I'm just going to be like, we'll make some space here, and then maybe I'll add a border here. We'll put like 20 for the border just because that's an easy number. I'll go back in, and the nice thing about Canva is that it saves all of your colors. Alright, I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit, shift this over, shift this up. Cool. Now everything's within the boxes. Let's duplicate this. Bring this down. Weapon. I only play one weapon, which is Blaster. So let me see if I have it already. I do have it. Awesome. So you can import anything you want here. Just click the purple file that says Upload Files. You can close that out. I'm going to crop this just so that it's easier for me personally. I like to crop things down so that I know exactly what size it needs to be. I can make it a lot bigger. And boom, place it right there. Now my weapon's there. Make it a little bit smaller here. Cool. So, to start out, here is my profile picture that represents me. I'm going to put this down here. We'll make this a little bit smaller so that way we can have the art by... Alright, there we go. Now we've got which platform the artist is from, and their username. That way everyone knows in case they want to go commission them themselves. And also the nice thing about Canva, if you don't understand what this is, I just realized there's like little lines that keep showing up. The little lines help things snap in place. So as I'm moving this around, you might see the little lines. The little lines are helping me place it in a spot that's going to look good. Okay, cool. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller just so it doesn't cut off the art as much. Okay, so I'm very specific on this, which is why I'm taking so much time. You don't have to be this detailed, but I just wanted to show my exact thought process, exactly what goes into my design, and what I'm thinking, what my silly brain is thinking. Alright, so I'm gonna make everything match here. I think we're gonna do exactly what we did over here with the art by, where it's like the little blurb is a solid color. Just because I think that personally looks cool. Okay, awesome. That's it. That's the first part of it. Now we are going to check out my Sendou page to steal some results. Alright, so we're on my Sendou page now. This is Sendou.Ink. It is a Splatoon competitive website that is oriented towards people who enjoy tournaments and also people who want to post art. So I've got all of my artworks here. If you would like to post your art here, you just have to ask for art permission and then hit the plus button and then post art. Regardless, we're here not for that, but we are here for my results. So the nice thing about Sendou is that it's just a link. You can pop in your profile link and captains will know exactly what you've done in the past, who you are. You know, it even shows what teams you've been on, again, for the results, but it doesn't have a history of your team. I am on a team called Bosk, but it's really just a pickup project, so I'm still looking for a official solid team that I can run practices with and grow with as a person. The nice thing about Sendou.Ink is that all of your links are here too. So if someone wants to check out my YouTube channel, they can click the YouTube icon. Still don't know why this Twitter hasn't been removed because I'm no longer on Twitter and I've deleted it from my Discord account, but it's still here. Twitch, Battlefy, which is another like tournament page, and then Blue Sky, which is where I post most of the time. Blue Sky is an amazing place to post your FA, which is your free agent post, and also to find team posts. So, again, highly recommend getting a Blue Sky. If you haven't, I would recommend leaving Twitter because no team is on Twitter anymore. Just to be so for real with you all, most of competitive Splatoon has moved to Blue Sky, and Blue Sky does not have ads, so I prefer it. Nice thing again about Sendou.Ink is that you can also post your FA post, but for that to be done, you need to have it in text form. We can go through that another day. Yeah. Um, I would also recommend updating your in-game username, also known as your in-game name. This is my current one from when I was last on a team. I'm saving it like this so that way when I join another team, I can just easily change it. Alright, there's the Sendou badges I mentioned earlier. I have all of my results already laid out here, and I even have what are called sets. So these are individual sets, so multiple games, 3 games, and these are results that I thought were good. These are teams, for example, Cooler High, formerly Div 5, now disbanded. I fought them, and I also fought one of their members again, and here's my results. Looks good to me. Land Crabs, which is just like around a Div 6, Div 7 team. Again, good notable results. I put results that are kind of silly here. We got first in silver bracket because everyone else quit, so I thought that was silly. That's why it's in my silly section. And then here are some sets that I lost, but I think I did a good job on. You know, I still took a game. Maybe I thought I fought really hard. It's good. Now I can go into my results page. If you play a tournament that's hosted on Sendou.Ink, the nice thing is that you can choose your highlights. So I've already chosen my highlights here, but we're going to go through, we're going to open all our results, all of the results from any tournament that is posted to Sendou after. So Twin Squiddies, not hosted on Sendou, but posted to thereafter, still shows your results. So I can click on Twin Squiddies 3, doesn't show too much, but it does show who won. Unfortunately, my 4th teammate is not here on Sendou.Ink, but it can show that I placed first. So I won that. So I can go through, grab all my results here. Honestly, I already have all the results that I would like on my main page, so I'm just going to grab them. But anything you deem as worthy would make sense. Anything that you deem as important, or something that you're proud of, it would make sense to list here. So let's shift it there. Okay, that looks a lot better. Okay, so now I've got my results, my main results here. I am going to do the same thing that I did here, where I'm going to make this a full shape. Oh, hold on, I need to move this over here because this is uneven. Okay, there we go. That all snaps to place, so that's all the same exact distance. I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to touch it again. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to make this the exact length of the, width of the, space that I want. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to drag it down. Now I can make it whatever size I want. So this is underneath. That's not what I want. So let's click position, click bring to the front. That way it's above everything. And now I can drag this down a bit and make this fit. I don't think I'll need as much space as I had previously. So I'm going to drag this down a little bit. We'll drag this down to match. And then I can take this little blurb that I've had here, squeeze it down. So I want this to be over here, but I don't want this to be so silly shaped. So the nice thing is that I can group all of this. So I can right click, I can click group, and then that'll stick all together. So now I can just move it. That'll kind of like lock it together. That way I don't have to worry about it later. Okay, so I forgot about the rounding. So 50 is the corner rounding. So I'll go in here. Oh, it's 50. Looks kind of silly, but oh well. Now I can select all this text because it's really hard to see right now. I'm going to turn it to white for visibility. Okay, I can move this over a little bit, drag this down. We're going to center this. Again, I could have grouped it, but I decided not to because I'm lazy. I'm going to move this over here. We're going to make it look the exact same on the other side. I'll go over here and we'll do sets. I feel like it's already wide enough. I'll just leave it. Alright, so this is what I've got so far. I'm going to go back to my Sendou page and I'm going to grab my sets here. I'm going to duplicate this and then I can click on that and then I can do that and ta-da. Again, I'm not explaining this as well as I should be, but you all get the idea that I can just drag the stuff from my text that I want and then make things look nice. Again, it's entirely up to you to make things look the exact way that you want them to. I'm gonna need to do some shifting around because this looks really clunky. Again, things are looking a little bit silly, so let's just bend and flow. Go with, whatever works, whatever you think looks best. Again, it's about you being happy with the way that you're presenting your information and also making it readable for everyone to see. So I'm going to darken out the names of the people. Hold on, we're going to have to do this one by one, just so that way people can read things easily. Nope, that's not looking good. Alright, let's try to make it a little bit lighter here. That way people can still read it and not have to strain their eyes, because that's a lot of text there. Alright, change some colors around. I'll also do the same for this, where I'm gonna make that an alternate color. Notable sets up here, other results here. Cool, okay. So we've got all this information here. Again, I'm gonna switch some stuff around just so that everything looks pretty cohesive. Cool, okay. I think this looks good. I am satisfied with this. It's a little bit messy with this over here, but again, cool. That looks really good. I like the way that this looks. I won't lie, I'm probably just going to grab this blurb. Okay, so I am back. I have grabbed the information that I would like. I added that I am banned from Juniors Draft and Setting Sail, World 9, and Reach. Those are all very good tournaments. I highly recommend them if you are newer to the scene. Let me just add my little blurb here. Let me make it big enough. Alright, I'm just gonna leave it like this because I don't really want to fix anything anymore. Also, if you're having trouble positioning stuff, you can do align to page center. I've just been lazy and haven't been clicking that button. It's in the, if you click position, align to page, you can align it to the top of the page where it'll bring it all the way up. You can align it to the middle where it's in the middle, to the bottom, all the way at the bottom, left or right. I like to do center. And then I just drag it up to exactly where I want it to be. Sorry, I drag it where I want it to be first, and then I hit center. And then it's centered, and I don't have to spend 3,000 years working on that. But in total, this is my final result. We've got my username, my pronouns, all of the sort, my weapon that I like to play, which I will also do a fancy thing here if it doesn't lag. Okay. Alright. We're going to edit this. I'm going to add a shadows. We're going to do an outline, and I'm just going to make it white. And we're going to make it a little bit bigger. We'll do like 45. That looks good. Okay, that way it pops. Alright, we've got that. All of this information here. We've got my character that represents me, my weapon, crediting the artist. We've got my results here, which I'm going to bring up a little bit. What tournaments I'm banned from. We've got here like notable sets from teams that I've beaten that are around or higher than my div level, specifically some of them, don't remember which ones. Anyways, we've got my about section here, which I'm going to change the color, that way it doesn't pop too much. It's me yapping about what I want to do, what time I'm available during weekdays. Weekends I'm available with advance notice. I work full time, so I'm unavailable until 8 p.m. EST unless it's a holiday. in my spare time, I like to draw. It talks about like what I like to do, what I'm involved in my spare time. So I'm unavailable one Saturday every single month because of Twin Squiddies, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, this is what it looks like in full. I like to make sure that I stick with a certain color just because it looks good. You can add as many colors as you like, although I will recommend to avoid rainbow colors. Please do not do like rainbow colors with a bunch of different colors that are neon and have like a super busy background. I, formerly as a captain, cannot read that. That's not accessible for people to, see what you want. And so if you care about people's eyes, try to make it simple. This is readable. This anybody can read. Even if, for folks who are colorblind, again, they can still read this because this is monochrome. We want to make sure that everything, is in an area, it's contained, and it's very simple and straightforward. This one is a little bit busier, but again, it looks like a resume. This essentially is your resume. But it's very important to have all of these things cohesive, readable. Make sure that the text, even though this is like a silly text, this is not like high school where you have to have, what is it called? Times New Roman. You don't have to have it as Times New Roman, but make sure that people can read it. That's just what I'm begging y'all. Make good decisions with your design that people can read. Okay, regardless though, again, for the Setting Sail Juniors Draft World 9 and Reach, I highly recommend checking out these tournaments. You can find them on the Sendou.Ink calendar. I'll start from the home page here. So we start from the home page. We can choose on the side here if you'd like. I like to go up to the 3 bars and choose from here because I can actually read it. Calendar. This shows all of the tournaments that are happening for me tomorrow, which is Sunday. Mug Cup is another really great beginner tournament. But for this one, we're going to be looking at Setting Sail, which is a tournament that is oriented towards beginners. I chose the wrong one here. So currently, today is the 11th of January 2025 when I'm recording this. This is happening on January 25th, 2025. So we're going to go down here. Friday, January 24th, excuse me. Again, from the Ink Up, another really great beginner tournament. We'll scroll down here, Setting Sail. It shows us a lot about what modes we're going to be playing. There's zones, tower control, rainmaker, clam blitz. Here's the name of the tournament. Here's the organization. You can click on the organization, see all of their profiles here, including their blue sky, which I recommend you make one. And you can see the past tournaments that have happened, when they've happened, what time it is. There's also sometimes a leaderboard. But the reason why this tournament is great is because it is a draft tournament. Partially. So draft tournaments are where you are a completely new player, you don't know anybody, you've never been on a team before. Do you want to play Splatoon competitively? Awesome. Join the Discord, fill out the form. There's registration down here, registration document here. Or fill out the form, say, hey, I'm new to the scene, I've never played before, I'm looking for someone to play with, and they'll set you up with a team. You can also sign up as a team if you already have one, but the nice thing about Setting Sail is that it's for people who are just setting, out on their Splatoon 3 competitive journey. It's a really great tournament. You can even check out the Discord, which will lead you to the Under Pressure Discord. You can read all the rules there. You can ask for help. You can, talk with people who are also playing Setting Sail. The rules are all listed here. Highly recommend reading them. I am not eligible because I've made somewhere above this. I can't remember exactly what happened, but someone who had a similar result as me, or the same result as me, was banned. I place above Iron Bracket and All for One, which you had seen in my previous one, right here. Where is it? Silver Bracket, All for One. I placed above it, so unfortunately you won't see me in this tournament. But again, you can, if you have placed higher and you want to try, getting in to see, if you haven't practiced in a while and you're not as good as you used to be, you can put in a request, but I feel no need to. So all of the rules are here. You can even register in this page. Sendou.Ink is an amazing place that you can go. And when you have your FA post as text, You can also put your FA post here. This person is looking for a team. This person's looking for a personal coach. This person's looking for a team. Again, you can make whatever post you like. It's called the looking for game post. You have a whole bunch of options here. If you're a coach, you can offer coaching. If you're looking for a coach, you can request a coach. If you're looking for players for your team, make a text version of your team post and post it here. If you're looking for a team, make a text version of your post and put it here. Okay, I grabbed it. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to post it. Boom. There's my post. You can see pretty much all of the same information that I've already put in my FA post. That's, right here. But this is for Discord. This is for Sendou. Again, make it readable, make it simple, make it cohesive, add emotes for color pop and for, just to break on the eyes. Try your best to make it as simple and straightforward as possible. And again, if you've played on Sendou, send your Sendou.Ink link to the team that you're looking to join, because they can see all of your seasons. You can see that I, didn't play season 3, 2, 1, or 0, but I'm still playing and I'm active now. Even though I don't play Sendou right now, I've been playing in a lot of ranked tournaments that give me SP. But again, that is it. Here is the final result of my FA post here. This is how I do things. You're free to do things whatever works best for you. But again, I do highly recommend, at the very least, making a cohesive image that captains can read, that's easy on their eyes, because trust me when I say that as a former captain, I looked over hundreds, and I mean hundreds of FA posts. My criteria of, looking for a team that is LGBTQ plus, Black, Indigenous, people of color friendly, and feminist friendly team is extremely specific, and not a lot of people understand what that means. So if you're looking for something very niche like how I am, you really gotta put yourself out there, and you have to make it clear, what you're looking for. And don't just join any team that offers you a position if it doesn't feel right. If you have any hesitations, ask them for time to think about it. And if even after that you still feel like it's not the team for you, maybe you could sub for them for the time being to see if it works out, or maybe that's just it and you just need to move on. It's better to walk away from a team that does not do, well for you or serve you, which sounds very selfish, but it has meaning, in that sense, than it is to stick with a team that is making you unhappy, stressed, and is overworking you. So again, just be very specific with what you want, communicate your needs, and be straightforward, and don't lie just to get in. It's not going to work in the long run, and you won't really be happy with the people that you're surrounded by. So that is all I really have to say. Thank you for listening to me yap about Splatoon competitive. Hopefully this is not 3 hours long. I don't know how long this entire video is. But again, feel free to check out my page. I will be making more perspective tutorials about how I make team posts, more about FA posts, more about finding scrims, etc. If you have any feedback, if you think I did something wrong, let me know in the comments. Again, this is not the be-all end-all of how to make FA posts, and you are free to do what works best for you. I think that's all for me, though. So my name is LilaLychi. Feel free to keep in touch with me through my YouTube channel and my Blue Sky. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for watching, everyone.